Hi, this is Digital Femme and welcome to my channel. So in this video, I wanted to talk about living alone and in particular, how much I really love living alone. And I'm almost afraid to keep saying it because you know what they say. They say words are power, and the more I say it and I feel it and I think how amazing it is to have my own space all to myself and how empowering it is and how happy it makes me feel, the universe might hear me and say, okay, I understand that you love living alone, Carmen, and it might equate to just being alone for the rest of my life. And I maybe really don't want that. So I kind of want to talk about that. And if you want to hear what I have to say, then continue watching. Hi, I'm glad you stayed. So for the past few years now, I've been actually wanting to live alone. Recently, I had been in a relationship for 8 years, a little over 8 years, and it had come to almost a close, you might say. But even prior to that, I guess in my sixth year of the relationship, fifth year, I had this sudden need to just want to have my own space. And it took a while, and finally I've reached that goal. And I'm really enjoying living alone. It's almost like I really don't need anyone to entertain me. I have to be careful what I say. It's not that I need people to entertain me, but I feel like I do very well just on my own, like literally. Number one, there's the internet. There's so many things to do on the internet. You can learn things on the internet. There's a lot of shows and movies, especially if you have a Netflix account, which I do. And there's just so many things you can do, especially on YouTube. You can like literally learn anything on YouTube. I mean, there's an endless amount of topics you can watch on YouTube, especially if you are working on your own YouTube channel. Well, then there you go. That pretty much takes up a good part of my day. The reason why I wanted to bring it up is because I'm wondering if there are people out there, and I'm sure there are. I wonder if there are people out there, though, that really enjoy living alone. And are you in a relationship? Are you in a committed relationship, but yet you have your own place? And then, you know, every once in a while, like on weekends or evenings, maybe you go to one another's place and then you have dinner, or maybe you sleep over or whatever, or do you? And then you just come back to your own space. About around 5 years ago, a good friend of mine, her name is Perlin, she had read somewhere, or there was a documentary or something in the news, how the relationships nowadays, people are actually choosing to live and have their own apartments or houses, and yet they are in committed relationships. And when she first told me that, I was like, oh, okay. Like I could see that, and I was wondering, could I be like that? And I guess as the years went by, I realized that I think I am one of those people that would fall into that category. And as a matter of fact, I kind of know I am. And I don't know whether it's an age thing, whereas the older you get, the less and less you are dependent on people, and the more and more you become self-reliant, which I feel like that's how it should be. I don't know. But that's how I've evolved into. So much so that I love my friends. I have friends. And absolutely, I love spending time with friends and, you know, just talking and sharing stories and catching up. But the large part of me just really enjoys solitude. I even made a joke about it a few years ago, like maybe a decade ago, saying how I could actually be a hermit because there was like an endless amount of things that I could just do on my own. Like, I kid you not. There was one year where for some reason I was so into making fairy houses, like out of nature stuff. Like literally I would go out, go into like not a forest but a ravine, or there's a river, like literally there's a river 2 blocks away with bush and brush, and I would go and I would pick up like willow twigs, willow stems, and what is it, acorns, and no, there's no acorns, what is it, pine cones and everything like that. And literally I would make fairy houses. As a matter of fact, I gave them away, but I have about maybe 2 still here, so maybe I'll do a video about that. But I really, the way I am, the kind of person I am, I always find projects for myself, and it's ridiculous. I could so for 1 year I was like all into fairy houses. The next year I still carried on that fairy theme and made like fairy wings. Not the big wings. I do want to make big fairy wings one day, but I made like little tiny fairy wings, which is weird. And then another year I made like over 200 paper dresses. I think I mentioned that in another video, and I'll do a video about that too. But like literally, or I'll get into crocheting again, and I'll have a goal and go, oh, I'm going to crochet a king size, what's it called? Not comforter, but bedspread or bed thing. And I did it 3 times over. So I always find something to do to keep me occupied so I can just be deeply, deeply focused. And when I am in those types of moods, which is pretty much often, I just kind of don't like anybody around, and I just want to immerse myself in those type of projects. And same thing with the internet. It's like, oh, I want to learn how to use Drupal or Joomla, or WordPress, or it's one of those platforms that you create websites. And I would do that until or oh, I want to learn Unity, that 3D platform. Anyway, you get the picture. So I guess I don't know. Now I don't know where I'm going with this, but I just want to tell people that there is someone out there, and I'm one of them, that just really enjoys living on my own and being alone. But I don't want to keep saying it, because maybe the universe will keep hearing me and it'll go into my super conscious, and I will just be alone for the rest of my life. I don't want to be. Maybe it's just a phase. Maybe I'm just in a phase. Like after being in a relationship for 8-something years, maybe I absolutely need to just be on my own to recalibrate. I think that's it. Okay. So probably that's it. To recalibrate myself, to cleanse myself of old relationships, of the old relationship energy, to honor myself, and to just, recalibrate. Okay, that's what it is. I don't know. I'm thinking that's what it is. But I can't deny it. I really do love having my own place and nobody to pick up after. And I can just bring in another plant without anybody saying, don't you have too many plants? No, you can never have too many plants. Are you kidding me? Like, if I could live in a jungle without bugs, I would. Yeah, I don't really like bugs. Yeah, they kind of creep me out. But if I could live in a forest, in a tree house, obviously a nice tree house, yeah, I totally would. Which brings me to, before I did this video, I was literally sitting for 15 minutes with different topics going through my head and wanting to actually I started a video like 10 minutes before this, and I wanted to talk about a certain topic, which is kind of like opposite of this living alone thing. And I think I'm going to start talking about it. I better not. I think I'll just stop here. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Anyway, before I did this video, the video I really wanted to talk about, and I said, this is what I said. I went, hi, I'm Digital Femme and welcome to my channel. In this video, I want to talk about a guy named Michael. And that might seem like a pretty boring topic, but it really isn't, because I feel like he could be a type of soulmate. Yeah, that's the video that I was going to do. And I actually started the video 3 times, meaning I did the intro, I said what the video was going to be about, and then I stopped it. And then I sat for a couple minutes thinking about, should I really do it? And then I did it again. I did the intro, said what the topic was about, then I stopped it. And then I did it the third time. Now I'm doing this video about living alone, but now I have this urge that I want to talk about this guy named Michael. So I'm going to talk about this guy named Michael. So I met this guy over 20 years ago. Yeah, it's been that long. And I met him because we worked like in the same building. I worked for a magazine in Toronto, and he worked in the cafe that everybody frequented. And that's how we met. And then after that, we didn't go on a date. We were friends. We went out to a movie. I forgot what movie it was. I kind of think it's Apollo something with Tom Hanks. I'm not sure. I think that's the movie. But he was in a band. He was in a rock band. And I don't know. I ended up like being involved in his rock band. The way I would be involved was I was actually writing like press release pieces, like PR pieces for them. So I still have somewhere, it's not with me now, I think it's somewhere in Toronto or one of my, I don't know, boxes in Houston. I still remember a red Duotang folder, a red folder where it has the band's like contact sheet, like their image and some write-up about it. And so yeah, like he would have practices or they would have gigs and I would get invited to them. And at that time I had a boyfriend, but I was attracted to him, but we were just friends, and he knew I had a boyfriend, and we just got along really, really well. Like we would never end talk. Like I remember when I would be with Michael, and if we had to talk about his band or the write-up or whatever, it was just so easy to be with him. So anyway, I moved. I left Toronto in 1996, and from 1996 till, I guess, 2017, he would always pop into my head. And I would always wonder, gee, I wonder how Michael is doing. And once in a while, I would look him up on the internet. I knew his last name. I would look him up, but nowhere. Like, nowhere. There was no mention of him at all. And I was like, okay, he wasn't on Facebook, nothing. So I'm thinking, gee, I really wonder how. And so, but the point is, here's this friend I met back in 1994, 96. Felt really good about him. Really felt comfortable in his presence. And throughout all my relationships that I had since I left in 1996, I would always wonder about him. And around 2017, there was, Blue Rodeo. 2017, Blue Rodeo came to the city where I live. And one of my friends, who interestingly enough, his name is Jody, he also worked with the magazine. So he knew Michael and me back then. So Jody was in a band that was opening for Blue Rodeo in the city. So Jody and I got in touch, or Jody called me or messaged me and said that his band was going to be in town. They were going to open for Blue Rodeo, and he got me tickets. So we went, and we had a really nice visit. And then we were reminiscing about people from back in the magazine days. And I asked him, I said, hey, Jody, remember Michael? And he's like, oh, yeah, I remember him. And then I said, do you know where he was? And he says, no, he never heard, he has not, heard from Michael since 1996. So after Jody left and the band left or whatever, I decided to look up Michael again. And I found him. I found his IMDb profile, because he also did some acting. And the reason why I couldn't find him is because he didn't use his last name. He actually used another name, which I found out later is his second name. So that's why I couldn't find him. And so I contacted him. Well, I found him, and I went on Facebook, to search for the name that his acting name that he used, and he was there, and I was so happy. So we reconnected, and then we were just, it was so fun. Like, we just reconnected, and it was like amazing. Except he kind of couldn't really remember me. He kind of did, but he didn't. And I would tell him, oh, we went and saw a movie, and he wasn't even really clear about that. So maybe that was a red flag. And then he said, did we date? And I said, no, it wasn't a date. We just, but I did tell him, like, I wrote for your band. I did like press releases and stuff like that. And he's like, I don't really know if he really remembered. But anyway, it was a great conversation we had back and forth on Facebook. So the thing is, at that time, I was with my boyfriend. And when we reconnected on Facebook, we never mentioned, like, I never mentioned, do you have a girlfriend? Or he never mentioned, nothing. And plus, in my Facebook profile, I did say I was in a relationship. I wasn't trying to, flirt with him. Literally, I was genuinely wanting to know how he was for all these 20 plus years. And I finally find him, and I reconnect with him. So that's great. But I guess after a month, or maybe after 3 weeks or so, he sent me a message, and he finally looked through my Facebook and saw my profile that I was in a relationship. And then he says, oh, it says that you're in a relationship. And I said, yes. And then he said, yeah, he can't do this. And like, he didn't say it in that way, but basically he didn't want to continue, I don't know, like messaging or talking. And I said, okay. And I guess the reason why was because maybe when I reconnected with him, I don't know, but maybe there was something in him that was thinking, hey, maybe there was something in me that there could be a potential relationship. I don't know. But I'm feeling that because he ended it abruptly, like this back and forth friendship banter, that's probably what it was. And I was really saddened by that. So that happened around 2017. I was so happy to have reconnected with my friend Michael, only to find out that he didn't want to continue this Facebook back and forth because I had a boyfriend, which I totally respect. But it's not like I was cheating, because I did tell my boyfriend about Michael. I even told my boyfriend about this guy I'm trying to find. So, I'm always up and up with everything. Anyway, a few months later, actually, I have to say this. I was really, really sad when he said that, although I did respect him. I was really, really sad. And it was a kind of sadness that I have really not felt before. I mean, I've been sad before, but not at that, not like that. And I mustered enough courage to send one last message. And basically I said that first, like, I don't know, I'm going to paraphrase myself. I said that, I've been wondering how he was all these years. And after finally reconnecting with him, it made me so happy. And now that he's putting he no longer wants to be connected, it's like I'm losing, I actually said this. It's like I'm losing him again. I'm losing a friend. 'Cause that's what it felt like. And then he messaged back, which I didn't think he did. He would, but he did. And he said, you're not losing a friend. Something like, it's just not the right time. Something like that. And I was like, well, okay. But before I reconnected with him, I was in this phase of, how am I going to say this? Before I had reconnected with him, I was already on a certain spiritual path. And that spiritual path had something to do with the angelic realm. That's all I'm going to say. Okay? I'm not into woo-woo, whatever you think woo-woo is, but I've been on a path, a spiritual path that had involved the angelic realm. And when I found Michael on the internet using his acting name, I also came across a YouTube video because he obviously he also sings. He's a beautiful singer, and he plays the guitar. He has a beautiful voice, and it was funny. But I'm just gonna say his name. His acting name is Michael Gabriel, and at that time, come on, Michael, Archangel Michael, Gabriel, Archangel Gabriel. Knowing that he changed his anyway, and Michael Gabriel is apparently his like name and then his last name. So it just like, oh my God, here I am on this journey through this angelic realm thing, and then here I find Michael, and his name is Michael Gabriel. So I got led to a YouTube channel, which was his YouTube channel. And the very first video that came up when I saw his YouTube channel, I kid you not, the title was called Angel Wings. And you know what? Oh gosh, I'll put the link in the description because it's a very, very beautiful song that he wrote. And he is a wonderful, talented songwriter. He really is. And so when I listened to that song, before even connecting with him on Facebook, because I didn't find him on Facebook yet, the song just really spoke to me. And every once in a while, I play it. I used to play it every day, but now, anyway, I only play it once in a while. And when I play it, it just really, really lifts my heart. After reconnecting with him and then him putting a stop to this back and forth Facebook, I just continued with my life. But I knew that, anyway, I was already in the process of trying to, I'm going to say it, separate from my boyfriend. But I don't know, some of you know, sometimes the act of leaving someone, sometimes it takes a while. So in this case, for me, it did. But the thing that happened was when Michael pointed out that I was in a relationship, and it made him like, oh, like just kind of like back away. And I didn't understand it because I just wanted to be friends. And yet back then I was going through the process of parting. Him doing that, Michael backing away, kind of like made me resent being in the relationship, because it was like, well, if I had already ended it, then I would have been free, and then we could have seen where things could have gone. So that's how I felt at that time. Then 3 months later, or 4, maybe 6 months later, he connected with me again. He connected with me again on Facebook. But it was brief. He asked me a few questions. I guess he was searching or going through his own journey, and we did connect again, and it was wonderful. Again, back and forth. And then, the topic of my relationship status came up, and yes, I was still with my boyfriend, but I was still in the process of, separating, and he knew and he understood how that could be. So he again backed away. This is my perception. He backed away, and then, he said, good luck in life and all this stuff. And it was like I was losing him again. It's such a sad feeling, and I don't know why. Okay, so Then Christmas time came, or was it a year passed and then it was Christmas? Or I knew it was his birthday. Sorry. So his birthday is in November. And because I don't know, I had his number and I messaged him. No, I think I messaged him on Facebook, happy birthday. And then he replied and he said thank you and how are you and all that stuff. But then that was it. And then again, what happened? I think there was a bit of a back and forth. I don't know why I'm even talking about him. But I don't know why I'm talking about him. And this is the video where I'm supposed to want to be alone, and I love being alone, which I do. But I guess I just really need to talk about him. I don't know. Just like, I never know what topic in the YouTube video I'm going to do until I actually sit down. And I really didn't want to talk about him, but obviously I do. So anyway, we reconnected again maybe 6 months ago, I think. Yeah, 6 months ago, and it was nice. He messaged me, hey, how are you doing? And then we would have really a nice back and forth. He was doing well. At this time, he was living in Colorado, and he wanted to move to New Mexico, and he was making the move. He wanted to, he joined an acting agency there in New Mexico, and he was going to get more gigs, and then he did. And we were really having, like back and forth conversation. And at that time, I had already separated. So I was fine. I was free. But we never talked about anything like that. It was just really light and fun and this and that. And then all of a sudden, again, he messaged me and said he's probably not going to have the same phone number. So I wouldn't be able to reach him. And so have a good life. And I was like, okay, well, my number. Like, this is what I thought of. I said, my number, so you can just message me when you have your new number. But I didn't say that. I kind of felt like either he had met someone and he just wanted to like honor or respect the person that he had newly met. So any other female that he had been talking to, maybe he was just gonna like close that off, which I can totally respect. I don't know. And then, after he said that, by the way, I'm not gonna have this number for so long, so you're not gonna be able to reach me. I hope you have a good life. Something like that again. And I was like, oh boy. So I said to him, I forgot what I said, but I was like, basically I knew it was one of these see you later kind of things again. And has he reached back to me? Has he reached out to me? No. And on Instagram, he has an Instagram account. I have been following him. He knows I follow him. And then he blocked me. Like, it's so strange. He blocked me on Facebook when I'm not even a stalker and we're just friends. And then this last time, this like 6 months or 5 months or 4 months ago, again, he blocked me from Instagram or unfollowed me and blocked me. But I still have other Instagram accounts and I know his Instagram account. So yes, I do creep and to see how he's doing. So he's still in New Mexico. I think he's in Taos. I don't know. And he bought a camper van. And he is a bit of a gypsy. He loves that. He actually had a big RV, and he would travel all around the US and Canada and having these orchestral concerts. I think it was called something strings. I'm not sure. But I don't know why I'm talking about him, but I am. So that is the story of a guy named Michael. Is he my soulmate? Guess not. Maybe in some way there is a type of connection, and maybe that connection is just learning to, for me anyway, learning to just love, and that is it. Just to love and truly have them be truly free. So the great thing about it is that I no longer have to worry how he is, because I know where he is. I can always go on Instagram. But will I really know how he really is doing? No. Will I know if he is struggling? I hope not. But no. I don't know. I don't know if one day he's just going to message me again. And am I waiting for it? No, I'm not waiting. And I'm not anticipating. If it happens, it will happen and I'll be happy. But then I'll be cautious again. I don't know. I might be cautious because, how long is this going to be? We're going to have this nice friendly banter and then you're going to want to back away. So I guess if that's how it is, if that's how he is, then I might have my answer. And I'm not even looking for an answer. There is no question, really. I don't even know why I said that. There's obviously a reason. So yeah, that's the story of my friend Michael. So we're probably not soulmates, but there's definitely a learning for me anyway. Oh yeah, and he's Scorpio. If that makes any difference. So he's Scorpio and I'm Aquarius, and we both have the same, ascending, and our ascending is Cancer. So our ascending sign is Cancer. He's a Scorpio, I'm an Aquarius, and I know and the thing I like about it is when we reconnected, you know what he said? He asked me, when's your birthday? What time were you born? Like everything. And I guess he wanted to look up if we were compatible. So maybe he looked it up and that's why he backed away. No, because he backed away because he saw that I was in a relationship. Anyway, so I don't know. Michael, you're probably never going to see this. And please, people, don't go messaging. Oh, whatever. I'm not going to say. But, oh, Michael. Whatever. Anyway, you guys, I will put the link in the description because you guys, you know what? You guys are smart. If you really wanted to, you would look him up to see just what does this person look like. And you would look him up just to see what that song of his is called Angel Wings. So instead, I'm going to save you all the time for looking him up, and I'll just put the link in the description to the song that I absolutely love. Well, oh my God, it's 30 minutes. I've been talking. This is like the longest YouTube video so far. 30 minutes. I'm so sorry. Okay. So if you stayed this long, thank you for watching and listening to this story and my babble chit chat. I'm going to call this a chit chat series because I'm thinking it's a chit chat. And yeah, that's my story of a guy named Michael. So if you kind of like this, then consider liking it, meaning liking the video. And if maybe you want to think of subscribing, so just go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Anyway, thank you for staying. Have a great day and have a great night. Bye.